for all the people out there who are saying, well, the Bears are frauds, I don't think they're frauds because I've still not said they're good. We have beaten 6 of the worst 10 teams in the NFL. That's a fact. Like, if you break it down, the 6 wins, yes, you could maybe say Jaden Daniels playing elevates them a little, but the Bengals stink, the Saints stink, the Raiders stink. So I'm not going to pretend that this is like the same as a 6-3 where we beat the class of the NFC, but still, it's fun. I'm excited to watch them, and they keep you on the edge of your seat. Would it be nice if we won a game easily? Yes.
Barstool Big Cat joins us on the Yingling guest hotline. Are you willing to double down on this and make now a second half prediction?
This is the problem. I've been struggling with the second half. I've been dissecting it, trying to figure it out. I think for the second half, my second act, after I was so prophetic in the first 9 games, I think for my second act, we're going to take it a little bit more week by week, break it up into maybe 2-game sets. And I think that these next 2 games, you got to go 1-1. You have to find a way to go 1-1. I think they can, but we're narrowing our focus and just focusing on what's right in front of us.
Which game would you rather win? A division game because it's more important?
Division.
Or beating Aaron Rodgers at home?
Listen, I'm just expecting for Aaron Rodgers to beat us, so I don't want to be in a spot where we're coming off a loss to the Vikings and need a win. So I would rather win the division game, and I think it's for obviously there's a lot of history with Aaron Rodgers, but that game is not going to change the outlook of the division, of the conference, all that stuff. And more than that, like let's be honest, we're going into a stretch here where it's going to get really tough. This Bears team has been so much fun to watch. They're so exciting. Caleb has been so much better. But what's the next hurdle? You've won one. Caleb Williams has won 1 division game as a Chicago Bear. Like, let's start winning division games. Let's start, meeting the task at hand when it comes to the Vikings, the Lions, and the Packers.
I said at the last break, I was just talking to myself. I was like, God, it is so much more fun watching this team play. And it's been a blast watching Ben and his staff develop these guys. It's not a hate watch anymore.
No, it's not. And it's what I said last week, and it's the calmness I have is because of Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And going into every week, this team will be prepared. You know the flaws of this team, and it's, obviously the defensive side. But Caleb Williams has shown us time and time again that this team is never out of it, and he will make big plays in big moments. And let's put a little, let's pour a little cold water on ourselves and say, hey, for all the people out there who are saying, well, the Bears are frauds, I don't think they're frauds because I've still not said they're good. We have beaten 6 of the worst 10 teams in the NFL. That's a fact. Like, if you break it down, the 6 wins, yes, you could maybe say Jaden Daniels playing elevates them a little, but the Bengals stink, the Saints stink, the Raiders stink. So I'm not going to pretend that this is like the same as a 6-3 where we beat the class of the NFC, but still, it's fun. I'm excited to watch them, and they keep you on the edge of your seat. Would it be nice if we won a game easily? Yes, but it's still fun. That was fun on Sunday.
Of course. And in 2 years from now, when we have higher expectations, this won't float our boat as much. But Big Cat, the thing I keep saying is the Bears were a part of that group that you just mentioned. So
right.
It's not like the Bills only beat those teams and they're expected to win the Super Bowl, then they go out and then they lose to Miami and everyone's wondering, hey, what's wrong with the Bills? The Bears have been in that lowest class and they're escaping that class by winning these games, and I'm totally fine with that.
Right. We graduated from being a bad team. We've said goodbye to all of them. We're no longer a bad team. This next stretch, can we be in the good team category? And that's it's not easy, boys. You know it. We've all looked at the schedule. We've all crunched the numbers. There are no layups on the schedule left, and I'm not even going to say the Browns are a layup because when you need last-second heroics to beat the Giants and beat the Raiders, you can't just say you're going to walk all over the Browns. So it's going to get tough, and I'm excited to see if this team is up for it. I'm pumped. I don't know. I'm just pumped.
Do you have a definitive feel for who you think the Vikings are? Do you think
No.
they're a decent team at 4-5, or think they're a bit of a mystery?
They're a mystery. I do think their defense, Brian Flores, always scares me.
Doesn't scare
and
Ben,
I don't
though.
know what Yeah, no, doesn't scare Ben. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. And people, I am not been the biggest J.J. McCarthy guy, going from college football. And it's not because I don't think he could be good. He could be good. But we just didn't know because at Michigan, he wasn't asked to do a lot. He wasn't asked to be a hero. He was asked to throw the ball 20 times a game, and his defense would take care of it. His running game would take care of it. So I think they're a very interesting team in that we don't know what J.J. McCarthy is or what he will be, and that's both probably to our benefit because he's still young and still only on his fifth start, but also a little scary because he could just be good and we didn't see it coming.
J.J. McCarthy is coming off a game where he threw under 48% completion rate. He was at 47.6. He's got 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. It's only a small sample size, but he can't only play 5 games and beat you twice in those spans, considering how bad he's playing. Like, that's why this is so important.
Add 2 fumbles into that as well.
Yeah.
Here's the scary part, and I'm no longer doom and gloom cat. I'm not, but I'm just stating facts. I'm stating facts for everyone. Here's the scary part. If you watch that game against the Ravens, which I watched that whole game, J.J. McCarthy threw the ball 42 times. That's not a winning recipe. I think Kevin O'Connell's probably going to go back this week and be like, hey, you know what we can't do? Have J.J. McCarthy throw it 32 times or 42 times. Do you know what the Bears can't do? Stop the run. They're going to pound the rock on us. And that's what they did in that Week 1 Monday Night Football game. If you remember that second half, what propelled the Vikings to get going was their run game. So that's what scares me. I think they're going to have a very different game plan. And this is why we love the NFL. You make your assumption early in the season, and if you aren't able to adjust and realize how things change, you'll get left behind. That Ravens defense is not the same Ravens defense that played in the first 5 weeks. They have been they gave up 35 points a game in the first 5 weeks. They've given up 14 points a game in the last 4 weeks. So, I think the Vikings' offense is going to look a lot better against our defense than they looked against the Ravens defense.
I hope the Bears come out and pound the rock themselves. We're the second best rushing team in the NFL, and the Vikings are 22nd at stopping the run. I have to tell you, I don't know how you felt, Big Cat. I think we shared this feeling, Sylvia and I did, that more than a little surprised at the game plan against the Giants, considering the Giants couldn't stop the run, the conditions weren't great, and the Bears had found their rhythm up front with creating space and running the football.
I agree. The only criticism I have of Ben Johnson, it's not even a criticism because the guy's a genius and I love him to death and I would die for him, is that it does feel like there's a couple times that we've abandoned the run a little bit too early. That it happened, obviously, on Sunday, and then what other game was I confused? Oh, the Ravens game, I thought maybe we should have run the ball more. Where it's like, these guys, DeAndre Swift is a different guy than he was last year. The way that 4th down that he picked up, come on, that was big boy football.
Yeah.
And Monangai he just never stops. His legs never stop moving. So I agree. Run the ball, run it down their throat, make them control the game, and then let Caleb be Caleb in those big moments, which he's shown he can do.
Have you mentioned this? Would you say that Caleb's arrived?
I don't. So this is where I'm nervous because we hurt ourselves. We did it too prematurely last summer when we got all hyped. And what made me nervous was when I turned on the TV on Monday morning, you saw Rex Ryan saying he's a generational player.
Yeah.
And that was like a trigger word in my brain where I was like, you know what? I don't need to make a bold proclamation of Caleb. I'm just going to enjoy him and watch it week to week and know that there will probably be a stinker at some point in these next month and a half, and that's not going to deter me. So I'm just we don't have to make a bold proclamation after every single start this guy
My
has.
God,
Let's
have you matured
enjoy
in
it.
age? Well, you
I've
used to
matured
be
and
a
I've not matured because I'll tell you what, a little immature thing I did this week. So on our Wake Up Barstool show, which is on FS1, I host on Tuesday mornings. So in the given week, Fox has a deal. We get 2 minutes of NFL highlight that we can use throughout the course of the 10 hours that were live, I might have taken 25 seconds of those 2 minutes that were allotted every week just to show drops by the Bears. So that was a little immature. I was literally just the Zacchaeus drop and the DJ Moore drop. I was like, I don't care that I'm burning these highlights. We have to show it. So that was a little immature of me.
I love it. So
I just think that was you analyzing football. That was you being an NFL analyst.
Yeah, but he's only got two.
Well, because we got a lot of ball. We got a lot of guys who don't watch ball out there,
Yeah.
and they look at a stat line and they say Caleb isn't doing well. And if you watch that game on Sunday, he was phenomenal. The fact that he didn't get sacked was insane. The fact that he made throws that only a few guys can make, and the guys dropped it. And you hope it gets better, but like if you're looking at the box score, you'd probably be like, oh, he didn't have a great game. If you watch the game, you're like, the reason the Bears won on Sunday was because of Caleb Williams.
Think about that. If Fox is one of the broadcast partners of the NFL, and they still only get 2 minutes of highlights
2 minutes
for 20 hours of programming that they can show.
The NFL is a behemoth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, they get to call their shots.
Yes,
they get to
of
decide
course.
what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Burden more then? You want more Burden?
I want more Burden. I want more Colston Loveland, but I do have to give a shout out for the ball watchers out there. That game-winning touchdown does not happen if it weren't for one Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
The way he blocked downfield was insane. He had 2 guys in the end zone. He threw them out the club. So, but I do want more Burden. I think we need to see more Burden.
I think we're all in. That's unanimous here. I think he's a dynamic player whose upside is ridiculous, and if it comes at the expense of Zacchaeus, it comes at his expense. This is the NFL. This isn't high school football.
Yeah, right. And hey, listen, since we're giving out accolades, I'm going to say it. We've been harsh. We've all been harsh on Ryan Poles. Some of these guys are really starting to pop. Like Darnell Wright is just an absolute monster. Some of those. I don't know if you guys saw some of the highlights. The one where he sat Brian Burns down like Brian Burns was like a 5-year-old.
Yes.
On one of those plays.
Put him in timeout.
Like with one arm too.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, and it's just like so some of these guys, the offensive line has been blocking well, and it's just it's a fun team to watch.
All right, we've
and
got
C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I mean, can you believe like the way he's been used, and that's just like, this is why I'm also not critical of Dennis Allen, because I think Dennis Allen is doing his absolute most with the cards that he's been dealt in terms of injuries and lack of like impact talent. But what a pickup by the Bears to get a guy like that who's just had an immediate. We don't win that game on Sunday without him.
It's a lesson, Big Cat, too. Like, whenever someone screams, oh, no, this team in town can't sign that guy, he'll disrupt the chemistry of the locker room. The Bears were desperate, and that's usually why they bring in someone like that. But, like, if you have good leadership in the form of coaches, you don't have to worry about someone who's going to act like a knucklehead, because then you'll get them out, and then most of the time you'll find a pretty good way to fit them in with good leadership.
And that's the Ben Johnson effect.
Yes.
That's where, when you go back and you're like, oh, well, the Bears didn't draft Jalen Carter. They took Darnell Wright. Well, yeah, because we had a dweeb as a coach. and we didn't have, you know what I mean? We didn't have the locker room chemistry. Now you have Ben Johnson who knows what he's doing. And he's like, hey, you need a couple of those guys on a successful football team.
Yeah.
You need a couple of the guys who might play a little bit on the edge and might be, you might get a 15-yard penalty every now and then, but you need those guys. You can't build the whole team out of them, but those guys are very important.